getting worse. Our exploratory diving fellas.
The escape the mummy is here in Barry.
Wong and his assistant Mary Nelson have vanished.
All computers indicate that whatever caused it came from somewhere in the Pacific. We'll start searching that area immediately.
Greetings and salutations, Ledgelords, ladies, and gender fluid friends of any persuasion. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Gamersledge. I'm one of your hosts, Mark, and joining me right over there, the other way, right over there, it's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello, how's everything going tonight?
I didn't expect it to actually be the direction that it...
The right direction.
Yeah,
it is the right direction.
Yeah,
wow.
it is the right direction. It's never the right direction. Anyways, hi, everybody.
I don't think I've seen that intro. I don't think I've ever actually sat and watched that version of the intro before.
Really? Because we've had it for I don't know, close to 70 episodes now? That's horrible.
Is it really that long?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I remade the new one. Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast, Season 5, Episode 379, HellDivers Anime Fantasy 7 Fallout from X-Men 97.
Alrighty then. I have some of that.
I have so much to talk about on that front, but we'll get there. How have you been, Matt? Our bi-weekly podcast that seems to be once every 2 months at
6
this
months?
rate. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm doing pretty well. I mean, life's busy. I've definitely not been getting nearly as much stuff in as I'd like to, but Keegan's been on the show. He graduates next month, so there's been he's got a job now, and so there's been all the figuring out how to get him where and when and why and stuff, and so that's going to take up some of next month, because one weekend will be graduation, the next weekend we'll be moving him out.
Hold on, you have an exploding Enterprise over your face right now.
Oh, wow.
With the 15-month sub-re-up.
Nice.
15 months. You've blown up the Enterprise being dip. I hope you're feeling good about yourself, but welcome in. Thank you. Always appreciated. Never expected. I don't know if this view will let me show.
It's trying.
It's trying.
Now I just wiped you out.
Oh, you can kind of see it at an angle. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Bean Dip, thank you very much for the 15-month sub re-up. You are a rock star. That goes in our 3-month giveaway jar. So yes, I'm sorry. Please continue. So
No, it's
all
okay.
the
So yeah, there's all the excitement with that going on, and then just life has been extra busy for some reason lately. I don't know what in the world's in the water or what it is, but oh yes, and now I don't know. I don't know. Everybody knows, but I am technically blind as a bat. I wear contacts because I abhor glasses. But now I have gotten to the age of
yay! One of us, gobble gobble. Listen,
So,
when I had to get mine, I will never forget. Both my mom and my wife said, "Finally." Like, what is that reaction? That is not cool. That's not
exactly. I mean, they're just cheater readers, right? I only need them for really, small print and stuff. But it was just like, if I try to read the instructions on like a medicine bottle, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I have to wear them for my magic cards. That's really.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't played a CCG in a while. I wonder if I could read the cards or not. That'll be interesting. I didn't have this in my thing, but I did buy the Vash the Stampede and Cowboy Bebop Combat. I forget what they were called, but it's what used to be UFS, right? They had the promo sets for those, and I did buy them. We haven't broken them out and actually played them, so maybe I'll have to do that with Mitchell this weekend.
Yeah,
see if I can read the cards or not.
So I'm pulling a Dave tonight. I have a special drink just for the show. Let me make it materialize out of thin air. It's something I only get when I find actual Japanese places. It's a Poka milk coffee, which is a thing they sell in vending machines in Japan. That is
milk coffee. I do know that's a thing.
It's a real good. I don't normally do caffeine, so I'll be really wired for the rest of the show.
So as Dave gets less and less coherent as the evening goes on, you're going to become Hammy the squirrel.
Well, Monsignor Dave's not joining us tonight, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, he's got commitments tomorrow early in the morning.
Bean Dip, don't worry about it at all. 14-month streak with 15 months. That's still amazing. Thank you so much. You are a rock star. And I hope your week has been good. I have been super busy. In fact, I just realized that somebody asked me Monday if I would do a meeting with them today, and it wasn't like a do or die. I need to schedule this into my calendar thing, and I just realized I completely blew them off. Yep. I just realized it just now as we were talking about busy week and everything. I'm like, oh crap. So now I got yeah.
See, I've got, if you want to see a thing into my life, my work life, I have a OneNote that's got notes in it. I've got a physical notebook here that has notes in it, and I have the sticky notes that are stuck all over the place that have notes on them. So yeah, I need to get my life organized.
when I started at this new position I'm in, they're using Teams. I've never used Teams.
Oh yeah, there's Teams too. So there's all the stuff I've got pinned in Teams that I've got to do that I haven't done. I'm a
Google kid. I have always used the Google apps. Docs.google.com. That's my wheelhouse. So I've moved over to the Teams now, and they have a SharePoint, which is a shared drive, and there are different worlds. I don't know what they call them, sites. It's very strange, but like you can have segregation, but it's like it's a complete different server for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And I can't make heads or tails of whoever set this thing up, where anything is located at. And the guy I directly work with, he's always sending me like a text link of where it's located when he could be sending me the link to actually get there. And it's like, well, you'll never learn where it is. I'm like, I don't care. I'm never going to learn. Just send me the hyperlink. So I only send him hyperlinks when he wants to see something. One day he'll get the idea that I don't care where it's located because no one knows where anything is on the drives. But anyways, how did we get on this sidetrack? I don't know. Let's start by doing what we always do. Let's go around the room and talk about, which is the two of us.
Go
on this fireside chat.
801.
That's what we need.
Tell us what
Is
you've
there
been
a
up to.
fireplace
Due to
background for
due to
this?
how slow
Not
work
in
has been.
this shared thing. You know what?
Not in this. No.
There is another one actually. It is not exactly. Oh, how do I? I guess I have to go to gallery and then. Okay. See, and I would do this if it ever made me big, but I'm tiny in the bottom of the screen, so there's no bueno.
And you don't like being a tiny boy.
Oh, what? It doesn't ask me anymore.
Oh,
change scene. I got it. Okay.
Okay.
This is not a fire pit per se. Wait, I'm looking to see if there actually is one in front of a fireplace. I don't think there is. No. It's not a fire pit per se, but it does look like it's outside in a fire pit.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Gamersledge Nature Podcast.
One of the things I love about nature is it's always around you.
I like that it's always outside, and I'm not.
I can't do this seriously. I gotta go back to the Halo thing. That's a way better scene than this.
That is.
Welcome to Friends
funny.
Being Loopy. Yeah, what have you been playing? What have you been watching?
What have I been doing? So I know I've been saying this for a little while, so I'll do a quick blurb on this. But comics. I recently, it's been several months now, converted to online comic world purchasing physical copies from an online store. Clear.
Got it.
For comics, and because my local comic store stopped, and the only other one in the area I have personal reasons for not wanting to patronage to. So I decided to find a online store, and I settled with a place called Atomic Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm actually familiar with them.
Yeah, out of Durham, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually been really good so far. The online, the way they do their online subscriptions, you can just subscribe to like Spider-Man, for example, and every book that comes up in the Spider family they do, and that was the only online vendor that found that had anything like that.
Yep.
And they've missed one comic so far, and I just contacted the customer support chat email thing, and they said, oh, yep, no problem, we'll throw it in your next box. They threw it in my next box and everything. They all come bagged and boarded. You get a tiered discount depending on how many active subs you have at a time. The packing, I was a little nervous by how they pack them at first, but I have had boxes with literal holes punched in them the size of my fist, and the comics have been perfectly fine.
Nice.
Yeah, everything about the experience, other than, if you're a I gotta know now type person, it'll be frustrating. You have to set up your delivery. You can do weekly delivery. I chose to go monthly because that kind of gets you kind of the balance of, cost for shipping and stuff and everything. So I'm doing monthly, which is a bit of a challenge because you got to keep up with it, right? You can't let it get too behind or you end up with the stack like I've got over there that I'm trying to dig through. Yes, question.
Did you know that was actually my first job ever? That's actually how I got my comic collection. Is I used to do I'm old, manual key and paste up and digital design for a mail distributor like that. And I would do like, here's what came in this week. And then I'd go find images online and print them out and put them on the thing. And yeah.
Uh-huh. Wow. Nice.
And I was 12 when I started doing that.
Oh, wow.
And I did that through, I think, 15, so 3 years. And it was all for store credit because I couldn't be paid, but I could get store credit for the work. And so that's how I built my comic collection.
Wow. I did not know that. That is an awesome story. How have we never come across that story before after 20 years?
Yeah.
Give or take?
Don't remind
Plus or
me.
minus?
It's making me really sad. Yes.
When it's been long enough, you don't remember. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
No, but that's awesome. But yeah, so if anyone's in the market, I'd say give them a look. I haven't had any bad experiences. Actually, the cards, the not UFS cards I bought from there too. They do all kinds of games and everything too, collectibles. So you don't get a discount on those though. You get a discount on the comics, but you don't get a discount on those. So yeah, anyway, I started, and there's probably someone out there that's probably going to like flip out or freak out, but I started on Marvel Comics, gosh, what, like just over 10 years ago. They started including a little sticker on the inside of the comics to claim a digital version of your comic, right? I never did it. I was just like, it felt weird to pull off the sticker thing. And then it was just like, I don't need to do that. And I was like, you know what? I've been paying for this for the last 10, give or take years. Screw it. I'm starting to claim the codes. And so I started that process. And the thing is, they don't all have it. And so you'll go through like 2 or 3 that have it, and then you'll get one that'll have a page in it that'll say, go to help.marvel.com/redeem help or something like that, and you can claim a copy of this comic as long as you do it within like 45 days of its publication date. So anything that doesn't have a sticker on it that's older than 45 days, you're just out of luck. So it's kind of like, on the one hand, this is kind of a cool thing that they do. On the other hand, man, could you do it a more dickish way? So now if I'm going to do this, the first thing I have to do when I get my box, because some of those are already going to be pushing 30 days old, I'm going to have to sit there and rip them all open and go through and figure out which ones don't have the code and claim them and whatever if I want to keep doing this. And it's just like, man, I thought this was kind of a cool thing you were doing, but you're really kind of jerks about it.
Good night, Tom. Thanks for hanging out. Go ahead.
And I don't know if that's always been that way or if that's a new thing that they've started because they could. And I can't imagine that their help desk loved it because I dropped like 25 tickets on them in one day, just to claim.
As you should. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, I wonder if this actually, like, they did it for longer initially because the original ones were like a year to claim or something like that.
And the ones with the stickers are still a year. It's just the ones that have the go to help.whatever and claim and submit a ticket to get this issue because they've got them in a drop list, the ones that are active, and you select the one in the drop list, and then you have to take a picture of the cover of the comic, and then that's your submission ticket. So yeah, if it's got a sticker, it's got a year date in it, but if it doesn't have a sticker, then you've got like 45 days. It's just kind of nuts.
I'm wondering if that's got something to do with their NFTs of the comics. Like I bought maybe like, I don't know, I bought 1 or 2 of the, anyways, which was probably a huge mistake, but whatever.
Do any NFTs still exist? I don't know.
Yes. So I'll tell you, okay, sidetrack, but interesting sidetrack. So there's this place called Mikaya's. It's a chain of really upscale shabu shabu places in California and here. There's one in LA. I think they've got one in Dallas, whatever. And they just opened one here. You actually can buy an NFT that gives you I think it's a 1 in 100 chance of getting their black label service. But I think it's like $300 or $400 for the cheapest NFT. But what it does is it gets you priority seating because they don't take reservations, and it's so if you like the place that much, it also gets you like the membership pricing forever, which is $10 off per person. Because it's a shabu shabu place that only serves Japanese A5 Wagyu beef. So it's like,
oh wow,
it's normally like $80 a person.
Right.
So if you get the Wagyu one, like there is a lower version, like American Wagyu, that you can get that's like $40 a person. But if you're going to a place like that, why would you?
Why? Yeah.
Right. There's other places I would go that are cheaper. I'm going there for the Wagyu. So, anyways, the $300 one gets you like the lifetime membership sub discount. It also gets you like something on your birthday and like a couple other things for the table. And you have I think it's 1 in 50 or 1 in 100 chance of when you buy it, you'll be notified if you got the black label thing, which you can't buy. That's their biggest NFT that you can't buy. Or you can pay like $1,400 and you have a 1 in 50 chance, and you know there's other stuff you get with it, but I'm like $1,400 is insane. That's not, but that's the most recent NFT I've come across, and I think that's actually a interesting way to do it because they're people who buy these are going there on a regular basis. That's why they'd want to buy it to get the priority seating and stuff. So I think that's a smart way to do it. It's more of an investment in something a recurring service rather than it is just, here's this thing that has a virtual price, give me your money.
Right. I mean, it's just a club membership card. They just made it an NFT instead, which that's an interesting idea.
Yeah. So yeah, please continue. So, I'm sorry.
Anyway, that was currently really liking this Fantastic Four run. It's really good. They've got some great covers. I don't remember who the cover artist is right now, but some great painted style covers that they've been doing, and the stories have been really good because it's kind of, instead of them being just like always, they don't have the Baxter building anymore. They're not living in New York. They're kind of on the run, so to speak. The government's against them. They've claimed all their assets and all this kind of stuff. So it's a different kind of story from the time that I've been reading Fantastic Four.
So
at least
the X-Men.
Kind of. Kind of.
Did I see somewhere that they're getting divorced?
Sue and Richard?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
they haven't nothing in the comic yet. But
headline for the comics that they were getting divorced or something.
I haven't seen that. If it is, I'll have to take a look.
Okay.
Because that'd be an interesting twist. The X-Men stuff is tempting me in because they've got some really good creative teams on this new launch that's going on, and my girl, Ms. Marvel, is now a mutant, and she's being drugged into all the X-Men stuff. And it's just like, oh, no.
And it looks like Xavier's going full villain now.
Yeah, it's kind of looking that way.
And I'm like, so I have been keeping up with all of the X-Men stuff. Not reading every issue, but I've been keeping up with the overarching story. And I don't understand how you do this without a time reset.
Well, I think that's what's happening, because I've actually been reading Fall of X.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, that's what he went there for. Well, that's what Xavier went there for, is to kill Moira when she was 13, so that she could never manifest the power and none of this would ever happen.
Right, which would reboot them back to the original timeline in theory. But
the question is which original timeline?
Right, yeah, which original timeline? Yeah, that's. They put Ryan Stegman on the main book for art, and I love Ryan Stegman. Jed McKay is killing it in everything he's writing, and he's writing the main book, so that's a very tempting option. They just announced the NYX, which is going to be the one that's going to feature Kamala in it, along with some other young mutants. So there's just there's a couple other books that have really great teams on them that I'm looking at going, nah, I already spent so much on freaking comic books.
And I know Bishop survived the Fall of X.
Yeah.
But I don't know where he's landing, and NYX would seem to be like a good choice for me in my mind.
That could be. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. But at least he survived. Thank God.
I picked up the rebooted Thundercats book from, I think it's Dynamite, if I remember correct. It's interesting because it's set up like it's going to be the animated series or at least an interpretation of the animated series, in which it kind of is, but they swap some elements really early on that definitely make it, where are you going with this? And you'll be happy we're 2 issues in and no Snarf yet. So he's on the cover of issue 1 though, so I don't know what's up with that. And then of course they had to go, and I've never owned a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic. I don't know how I've managed to avoid that, but I have. And there's been a lot of news about the story that's going on, coming to the end of the current timeline stream or whatever for the Turtles, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. I catch news about it every once in a while. But then they announced the new series that's starting up, and it's being written by Jason Aaron. I'm just like, will you guys stop making comics written by my favorite authors, for Pete's sake? Come on, guys. So I don't know. I'm debating on that one too. At least maybe the first arc and just see where it's going. But I didn't recognize the artist that was on that, but the art looked good from what I saw. So
didn't one of the big indie comic guys file for bankruptcy? It wasn't. I don't think it was Dynamite. Was it IDW? I swear I saw one of them just filed.
I think it would. No, it was IDW. Yeah, you're right. It was IDW. Yeah. Which is weird because they had all that Marvel money for the longest time, and then something happened between the two of them, and they stopped getting the Marvel imprint stuff.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that's what put them down, or
I know like they started saying stuff about it last year, but I think they finally ran out of runway or whatever it was. I'm trying to find it now, and all I see is Aftershock. I don't care about Aftershock. Great, come on. Chaos was like 10 years, 20 years ago. That's not what I swear to God, there was another one.
I remember seeing that. I don't know. It's not coming up right away here.
Because I was surprised. I don't think it was Dynamite.
No, it wasn't Dynamite, and it wasn't Image.
No.
I think you're right. I think it was IDW, but
I'm pretty sure. Well, it's still listing. It's still listing new releases, but I swear to God, I saw that this week. I was
maybe they're just, or maybe it wasn't bankruptcy, but there was some sort of financial something.
Yeah, I meant to put that on the news thing when I saw it, and I totally forgot. Because I was like, oh, we'll do a podcast eventually. I'll go back and find it then. Because they were doing Doctor Who books too, weren't they?
I think they were, yeah. Never got into the Doctor Who books, which, again, don't know why, but...
Yeah, I don't know either. It's crazy you were into Serenity books, but not Doctor Who books.
Yeah. So it wasn't Boom. It wasn't... Yeah, but I remember seeing something about that. Yeah, it's not coming up now, so either it was a fake thing, or it was a much less significant than bankrupt, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, that's the comics. I finished the 4 books of the Inheritance Cycle, which is the story that starts with Aragon. So I finished that, and then started the one that he just published, which is a sequel, I guess, if you want to put it. It takes place after the events of the Inheritance Cycle, but focuses on a character named Murtagh. So it's called Murtagh, spelled Murtagh, but pronounced Murtagh. So I'm currently reading that. I'm about 150 pages in. Game-wise, I've really only been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm about 38 hours in. I'm in chapter 6. I think you're still in chapter 2 from what I saw last night. Yeah.
And I'm
chapter 2 took forever.
Chapter to get 2 out of chapter 2.
Forever. No, you will. It's just
listen,
huge.
I had before they even gave me the quests, I explored the whole map as far as I could go. And then they're giving me the quest. I'm like, God damn it, I gotta go back to these places and do that again. I'm like, you can see there's significant things like the the life springs and stuff. And I'm like, what is this? Why is it not triggering anything? Of course, you got to progress the main story in order
to get far enough. Yep.
So now I'm like, oh God, this is Assassin's Creed Tower Simulator, Flower Picking Simulator 2024. And I'm never going to progress the main story. I'm just going to be doing all these side quests all the time, forever, which is fine. I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong.
No, yeah, it's funny. It's a complaint and a compliment all at the same time, because you're doing all these side quests and these mini games, but you're enjoying it, so it's fine. But
but you realize that the ticker's not moving as you're actually doing stuff, right? The side counter or the side quest ticker is moving, but the actual game is going nowhere while you're doing all this stuff.
You're in a hurry, but stop and do all this stuff
Podcast from a roller coaster.
And then it's like,
fast travel. The fast travel points.
Yeah, but then you lose out on XP of killing monsters between here and there, and I need to level up materia and people and skills and AP for equipment, and there's so much.
There is so much in this game, and there are so many systems, and most of the time I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to play the game for a while, and then I'm going to go bury myself in the systems for like an hour, and then I'm going to forget they exist again while I just go do stuff.
See, and I'm kind of doing that now, but you remember John, right?
Yeah.
Okay. John forever like scarred me by saying that anytime he played with me, 9 out of 10 hours of play time is spent in a menu.
It's not inaccurate.
And see, this is the issue. It's like, well, I got to go equip new equipment and then make sure that the right material are equipped the same people. And then can I link those and do anything? It's like, oh my God. So now every time I press stuff,
that it auto migrates your materia to the new weapon or gear.
Yeah,
that is very nice.
But I don't like the fact
that you still have to like rearrange it or whatever. Yeah.
I don't like the fact that I accidentally created a second save file and have no way to delete it.
I did the same thing. It just sits there. Just like,
because
whatever.
I'm like, okay, maybe this is done at the system level, right? Maybe I can get rid of this by going into the PlayStation. Nope, it's all one file. So, and there's no delete option. I'm like, that's not going to annoy me every time I look at the save file screen for the next 3 years it takes me to finish this game. I mean, say it's at least I don't have to worry about the new one coming out before I finish this one. It's not going to happen unless they do a year, and then I'm screwed.
Well, they said they're just finished the script. I saw a thing today that they finished the script and they're going to start, recording lines and stuff. So I'm guessing that means they're a bit out still. Good,
because it will take me that long of only playing 2 to 3 hours on Wednesdays to get that. I mean, I'm going to have to gather other colored chocobos. We already know this. I'm going to have to master every gold saucer game on expert. I'm going to have to. I was so mad.
I gave up on one of the Costa del Sol games. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm
no, we're going to do it. We're going to do it until it's done.
Good luck.
I got to get to team level 10 for both the trophy and also so that I can get the best stuff. I don't know why I care, because they're just going to reset me down to level 1 again for part 3. Yeah. So, which is okay. I don't know. I'm getting worked up about it. It's like I'm mad that. Did I tell you about my save file stuff?
No, I don't think so.
So you know that I got the disc-based version of Final Fantasy.
Right. 7 remake. Yep.
Right. And then someone stole it.
Right.
And I got the free digital version.
Right. But you can't play it because it requires the disc, because your initial thing was
so
with
I had
the disc.
So I had to go buy another copy of the game. But apparently one of my last save file got eaten, because I am now like, I don't know, something like 14 or 15 hours before where I was, and I no
Oh, wow.
longer have the Bahamut summon.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, F that, I'm not doing that again. But the point is that I had the Bahamut summon and now I don't. And I think that's a really dumb thing to do for this transition. You know, if you make people grind for stuff and they no longer have it, that gives them less impetus to grind for stuff moving forward, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my only like complaint about that situation.
Yeah. I mean, the game itself is great, and I've enjoyed everything about it for the most part. But yeah, there are things that's like, you know, it's like they didn't plan ahead for how to transition those in a graceful way without making you so ridiculous OP when you jumped into the beginning of the game that it's like, you know, kind of almost pointless. But
well, I mean, they could have backed it down and just given you gil so that you could buy stuff. You know, I mean, seriously, like, oh, you were level 99. Well, guess what? We're going back to level whatever it is, 1 or whatever. But all your grinding is going to equate to something, right? And it didn't. And I think that's taste suck.
Yeah. Especially when it's something like Bahamut, which you really can't do till the very end of the game, so you don't really get to use it very much anyway. So, yeah. See you haven't got the Queen's Blood yet?
No,
I imagine.
No, I mean I just got the Chocobo, and
okay,
I can't even complete the course in the time it wants me to complete it in, and I'm already like steaming because of that. I'm gonna have to come back and do the Chocobo races later.
You know about the drifting, right? I think it's square or circle. I think it's square.
I don't think that's unlocked for me yet.
No, it's at the beginning. It's something you can do right away.
Because the only thing I can do is jump and
it's the same
sprint.
button. Except when you sprint, you don't jump, you drift.
Well, but even sprinting around the track, I'm like 15 seconds too slow, and that's straightening the runways out.
It shouldn't be, because that was not a problem. I mean, I did it right away, and it took me like 4 or 5 tries to get it. But there was
I'm not even coming anywhere
you know,
close.
There's the two levels of running, right? There's the one tap which runs, and then there's the second tap which is sprint.
Oh. No, they didn't explain that very well, if that was the case.
That is a problem with the game. It does not explain a lot of stuff very well. There's a lot of little stuff. So yes,
because I've been sitting there holding circle or R2 or whatever it is for sprint, and he goes a little faster, but that's it.
Right. No, yeah. So if you use the R3, so if you go forward, you hit it once, you start running, you hit it again, you'll start sprinting. And then you use the jump button to drift around the corners. This has been Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Help with
yes,
music.
Thank you. Yes, no, that is.
But no, trust me, there's some stuff like, you know, Mitchell's ahead of me, so there's stuff he's told me that I didn't catch or didn't understand from the instructions, and there's stuff I picked up from other places.
Read it.
So
after the thing, I went to the help menu and actually read the entry and was like, "How do I do this again?" It says nothing about that. Not a single thing about 2 levels of sprinting. Thank you, but also,
no problem. Yeah, I know. I get it. I understand. So that's been most of my gaming. The only other thing done is I have played a bit more of Final Fantasy 14. I'm still in not Skyward Sword. That's a different game.
I was gonna be like, how'd that happen?
I can't even think of what it's called right now. Heavensward. I'm still in the first expansion. So, but they did have a Final Fantasy 16 crossover event similar to the one we did for 15 way back when.
Yep.
So Mitchell and I did that, and that was fun. And then I've been playing Vampire Survivors on my Xbox just so I can get the credits to get my free month of Game Pass every 2-3 months, depending on how long it takes me. So I've just been playing a round of Vampire Survivors pretty much every day to get that up there. So, you know, it's fun. It's a kind of dumb little thing, and some of the unlocks are super unclear, and you end up Googling how to do them and stuff. But it is still a fun little stupid game. And then on the watching front, we'll try to turbo through this unless we find one that we both want to talk about. I guess we could start with Dune Part 2. I think that's come out since we last meet. I don't think that was
Still haven't watched the first
out
one.
before. Okay.
Not because I don't like Dune or anything like that. Just I haven't watched the Ghostbusters movie either, and I really wanted to see that. So it's like everything.
The first one or the new one?
The new one. Everything's falling through the cracks right now. So that was in my list too. I just watched the first one, which was actually pretty solid. Yeah, I thought it was really solid.
Enough.
I liked it. I liked the new characters. I thought it was all well done.
Yeah.
So I that's why I was wanting to see this one, because the first one was pretty decent.
Yeah. I figured I was waiting for streaming for this one, but for this new one, but so I wasn't too disappointed that I haven't gotten out. I missed that Kong Godzilla 2 was out. It's like, oh, that's out. Okay, I guess. Sure. I enjoyed the first one well enough, but again, I'll probably wait till streaming to get the second one. But the other thing we watched recently was Wonka. I hadn't seen that. So
good. That was on my list, so we can talk about that. Shared. What did you think?
It was surprisingly good. I didn't know exactly what to think of it. I remember when it was announced and they said that Timothée Chalamet was going to be Wonka, I was really confused. And then they're like, okay, it's a Baxter. Okay, that makes more sense. Mm-hmm. Hugh Grant as the initial Oompa Loompa is a interesting choice, but it worked. My son's going, who's that guy? Where my wife and I are both going, oh, hey, it's Hugh Grant. And he's going, who?
No, Hugh.
Hugh, yes. It was pretty fun. The songs were actually much better than I expected. And once I was a little worried about the music, but the music was actually really well done. I didn't go back and look and see who the composer or who it was or anything, but the music was really well done. The scenes were really well done. There was a staginess to it, that I think helped it. It helped it feel, because I mean the original, the Gene, not Gene.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah, Gene Wilder. One had kind of a similar quality like that to it, right? And I think that really kind of helped make it feel in universe, right, to it. I mean, it obviously looks much better. It's much cleaner. The effects were all much more precisely done. So it definitely feels different, but it had a lot of similar qualities to it, I thought. All of the acting was actually it's one of those that kind of lives or dies by how the actors can handle that kind of corniness. And somehow they all nailed it, right? Somehow they all hit it.
It's a really good ensemble cast. And the one I was worried about, honestly, was the one my wife was most excited to see, which was Carson from Downton Abbey. Because he's a very, even in the show, he's very buttoned up. I guess that would be the style of acting he does. He's very proper British in almost everything he's done. And so he didn't deviate, but it did it for laughs in this one, and it actually came across really well. So it's like the entire ensemble cast was really good, and that was actually more what I was worried about, because I think Wonka is somewhat interesting enough of a character as he is, but you were going to have some other characters to flesh out the running time and the story. You couldn't just make it all about Wonka, otherwise people get real disinvolved. And I think what this had for me more than the original, more than the Gene Wilder version, was this was a much more still optimistic Wonka in my mind. And I really thought that translated well into what they were doing. It did.
And, so far, I know I haven't seen everything Timothée Chalamet has done, or Timothée, excuse me. But so far, it seems like he's going to have a long and promising career if he can keep himself out of trouble. Right.
Yep.
So,
if
that was him singing, he can sing pretty well too.
Yeah,
so.
he can. And I've not seen him in anything I haven't liked so far. So
yeah,
it's another reason I want to go watch or I want to watch Dune, and I just haven't gotten around to
And I can't remember who plays the young girl, because when I found out who it was, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But
Zendaya.
she did a great job too.
Zendaya.
No, that wasn't Zendaya. She's not in everything yet. She's working on it though.
So
yeah,
what would
really
you get?
good.
What would you give it out of 10?
I think I'd give it a solid 8.
I think I'd even go so far as an 8.5. Like there was nothing. Now I will say that I heard from multiple people that this is the worst thing that's ever been made in cinema history.
I don't know how you would get that. I mean,
don't
I get
either.
not liking it, but
I get it may not be your cup of tea. Not everybody likes a musical, but I really enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, because I thought it would be like a good 7.0 right down the line, but I was entertained.
As quickly as it went to streaming, I was a little worried that it might be, down in the 5 range, I was like, ooh.
Yep.
But I think
good.
Cinema's a hard thing these days, and it's really hard to get people to go in and see stuff in a theater, and that's just a model now that's tricky to run, I think.
I mean, I can't even drag myself out of the freaking house to go watch Dune or to watch Ghostbusters, and I want to see the movie, and I know it's in theater, and I pay $20 a month to have 3 tickets a week, and I still can't get myself to a theater to go do it.
Understand. But yeah, so that was it for the movies. I think I watched something else, but I couldn't remember what it was. So Ghostbusters, Wonka, and Dune. We're going to see next month, or no, it's this month now. We're going to go see the Spy Family movie, Spy Family Code White. So we've got that coming up. So we'll be able to do a review on that. It's my first anime movie in a theater.
So
never actually been to an anime movie in a theater before.
Oh, really? Dragon Ball Z took care of that for me. I am curious, what made you watch the Timothy Chalamet triple feature? Because I thought he did good in Ghostbusters as well, as Phoebe. Sorry, I just needed to rewind that for the joke there. Now, please. That was
funny. No, it's funny too, because I thought, hey, here's a dark-haired girl who's playing kind of a outcast girl character and doing it in a really good and respectful way, and something that girls could attach to. And then you see what she looks like, not in makeup, and you're like, well, that destroyed that whole thing. Because she's blonde and she's she's the whole 9 yards. Yeah, no, she's like a singer.
No idea.
And it's like she does it so well you don't get it. I mean, she's very clearly a very good actress, but it was just kind of funny. It was just like, oh, well, yeah, there goes that image. But anyway, anyone that watches the movie will still have that image. But so let's see, TV stuff. Regular TV, we've been keeping up with Rookie, still Nathan Fillion, the show. If you haven't heard the song Cop Cutie, Google it. It's hilarious. So I guess it's the showrunner's son that has a little band that does this song in the show, and it did a reprise this season, and it was just hilarious. But anyway, then we started watching Tracker. But you remember Smallville, the guy that played Green Arrow in Smallville? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But we were all pissed that when they announced Arrow, he wasn't going to be an Arrow because we liked him in Smallville.
Now I'm going back to look at who it was, because I don't remember.
Josh something.
Oh, yeah. I remember this guy. Yeah.
He looks almost exactly like he did in Smallville, which is kind of crazy. But so he's the main character. It's a basic of the week show at the moment,
Okay.
So it's fun enough. The wife enjoys it. It's a very throwback kind of show. It's like something we would have watched in the 80s after MacGyver or something, right?
TJ Hooker.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a fun little thing to watch. And then I started watching Justified, Well, I'm on the elliptical, so it's going to only take me about 6 years to get through it. So, that's an old FX show. Timothy Oliphant plays a U.S. Marshal that gets shamed back to his hometown.
I seem to recall something about this. Yes.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's a show that people have been recommending to me for forever to watch, and I just never got around to it. So I figured, what the heck, I'll do that. The only real anime we were watching this last season was Solo Leveling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I did not think I was going to like it starting out, but it actually came around.
I was never not on board with it.
I kind of was. The whole thing about it being a webtoon kind of had me thrown a little bit, and the whole Korean names in Japanese just
that's weird.
Weirded me out for some reason. But it really came around. I started looking forward to it, and by the end, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm actually wholly on board with this thing. So it kind of surprised me because I was kind of watching it just to write it off initially, and that didn't happen.
See, and I'm completely on board with how they ended it, because that would be a character progression arc for me in my games that I would play online. So I'm all about this.
No, yeah, that was cool. There are some inconsistencies, like, there's some things I want to nitpick on because, okay, if you were basing it off an MMO model, red enemies, you basically can't hurt. So either he's not being scaled correctly, or they're not really red enemies, or one of my kids was like, oh no, that's just his impression of how hard the enemy should be. Really? That's not how it works.
That's not how it works at all.
But, it's like, okay, well, whatever. It makes a good story anyway. So, I'm almost tempted to go back and watch it in English, because I've been kind of watching some of these TikToks and stuff coming out from the English voice actor. Holy crap, does that guy go hard?
Yeah.
Holy cow, that guy goes. So I'm almost tempted to watch it again in the English dub just to get that experience. But
you're leaving something out, and I'm wondering if it's purposeful.
Might be because there's a lot I'm leaving out. But
X-Men 97.
Oh, well, actually, I have a thing about that.
Oh, okay.
So wanted to watch. That's actually on my notes.
Well, wait. While we're here on Solo Leveling, what would you give it out of 10? Since we're both done with it.
I'd say averaging it out. By the end of the series, the last couple of episodes are probably like 9s, but across the whole thing, I'd probably go a solid 7. So 7.5.
I think one of the strong points for me is that he starts the series as a weak protagonist, but not a whiny weak protagonist. True. And he never really delves into that territory. It's like flirted with, especially towards the last couple episodes, but it's like he's never. I like the power fantasy kind of like I'm super OP or I'm leveling up to be super OP and stuff. I thought this was very well done in terms of the character seems to have a real desire not to die. And I thought that the effects were good. I thought that the story progression was good. And I'm very interested to see where they go from here. And I'm still interested to see what happens with this island. That is a thing. Yeah, they've really been playing that up, and we still haven't gotten the payoff from that yet. But which, by the way, is funny because I'm pretty sure that island is I think it's like Jeju Island or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's actually the locale of another anime. I watched it like sometime last year where there's a guy who keeps waking up, and every day it's like Groundhog Day is being reset on the island, only there's like some really bad supernatural stuff going down. And so I thought it was funny that this makes that island like this super
Is
crazy
there
place.
is there some lore attached to this island
Yeah.
that makes people pick it for that
Right,
or
that's
something? Is it
exactly
like the
it. I'm
haunted
like,
island or
yeah,
something?
I'm
you
like,
know?
okay, that's the second time that's popped up, so that's kind of weird.
Huh.
But okay, you have a thing for X-Men 97 since we both
I have a
that
thing
on
for
our
X-Men
list.
97. So I was going to sit down and start it. And I was talking with Mitchell. And we both realized he had only seen chunks of the original series,
Oh, okay.
like a bits here and there. I'm like, well, it's been since literally 1990 since I've seen this thing. Let's do it. So we started we're still in season 1, so it's going to be a while before we get to the new episodes. But, you know, it is funny, especially in those early episodes, watching all of just the mess that was the animation in that series. And yet it still was like watching it back then, the greatest thing we had ever seen in our lives. The stories are still great. The characterizations are still great.
Yep.
Some of the dialogue's a little, but you know, but yeah, so we're going from the beginning, so it's going to take us a while. I know something big happened in this last episode, and that's as far as I've been able to keep my barrier up as something big happened. So
Let me tell
we'll
you.
see if I can survive or not.
So obviously no spoiler free since you haven't watched them. We all know I'm biased towards the X-Men. It's my favorite series. I have Matt has my collection of X-Men books from 3 forward. But the point is, like, remove my bias aside for the X-Men. I think the writing in this series is possibly the best Marvel writing I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I truly hope you can stay spoiler free. I really do.
Do my best.
Like this episode, the 5th episode is possibly one of the best episodes of TV I've ever watched.
Oh, wow.
It is like a freight train, and it does not slow down or stop for nobody. And it is crazy. And the funny part for me is I would almost think this was like a series finale.
Wow.
I almost thought
that hard.
Yeah,
wow.
It's super hard. And I can't say anything else more, but I will say that they checked every box with the writing of this. The writing is so smart and it is so on point, and they are just nailing it from beginning to end. I cannot wait for you to see it.
How would it be for someone who has never engaged with the original? Do they do a good onboarding with the first couple, or are you going to be kind of catching no onboarding at all?
There's no onboarding at all. It
So
literally picks up.
Watch a summary video if you don't want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, if you watch a summary video of the first 5 seasons, you'll be good to go for the actual thing. Those summary videos will catch you up. But man, it's interesting because obviously, just like the original animated series did, they're changing things from the comics, but it doesn't matter, right? It's like
it's in a smart way.
It's in a super smart way, and this is actually one of the few ones that I really am regretting that we aren't all watching together to do reaction videos for, because it is like every time I watch an episode, it's like, this is really good, but this last one was just beyond. It was absolutely beyond. Like right now, I think this might be my favorite animated series of anything.
Wow.
And we're only 5 episodes in. Like,
if you can keep that up, that's going to be impressive.
I feel like Marvel finally got the X-Men back, and they're like, okay, let's actually get our best writers and show them what we can do. with these stories, and it's like I want all of this to be a movie, like, or a series of movies for the X-Men. They're that good. It's crazy train, and I'm like kicking myself that I didn't do the reaction videos, because this is not only like one that we should have done a reaction video for, it's one we should have all done reaction videos for, because it's that good.
Damn. Nice. Well, we'll after the cast here, we'll dig into some more of the original series. So we'll
Okay,
we'll
so
see
if you don't have that one, how about Invincible?
I forgot that came out with a second season.
Oh, jeez.
Nope. Yeah, that one's got to go on the list. I totally forgot that came out with the season 2.
Because I will tell you, after watching season 2, I was ready to declare that my favorite animated thing ever. Until X-Men popped up and is like, holy crap, man. Just, it's insanity. Like, I can't wait for you to get to it. That's all I have to say. You know what? I may go back and do a reaction thing for it anyways, even though I've seen it, because I don't care at this point, and because it's not like it's going to be any less conversational or emotive,
impactful, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it'd actually be a little freeing because you don't have to worry about missing something while you're reacting.
Because it's just crazy. Yeah. Okay. So Invincible. If you haven't watched it, go watch season 2 of Invincible. It's okay. Even better than the first season. And
wow.
And the thing that kills me is that where they end the second season is really done with the world building and framework building of what's to come. So the series hasn't even started really yet, and it's already super good. So
damn, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I would give both of them 10s, and I can't recommend either of them enough. They're both, well, Invincible is incredibly bloody. So keep that in mind. It is blood and gore, but at the same time, it's really good storytelling. X-Men 97, less on the blood and gore, really, but it does have some, and the writing is chef's kiss. It's like, I want to see every comic book from Marvel translated into an animated series like this, because they are not pulling any punches for anything. It's crazy.
That's actually really awesome. That's making me itch. So yeah, I got to get through this. But all right, did you finish up Quantum Leap?
Yes. And
then you heard that it got canceled?
Yes. I actually really liked how they finished that up.
Yeah, no, it was a great. Could be an ending, could be a beginning.
But no, I mean, I like, okay, yes, I'm not talking about the end of the series. I'm talking about the end of the season, like how they wrapped that whole storyline up. Other than the fact, okay.
We're the only people in the world who watch the show, obviously, so we can spoil it, I think.
I mean, other than her breaking up with him, which came out of nowhere.
Right.
And was just like so super convenient plot point to make sure that she had no attachments back before she did the thing she did. I'm like, come on. All right. That was not a win, but everything else about it, I guess I just don't, I mean, I get what they were going for with the whole recurring thing.
Right.
But I think that they tried, but somewhat failed to pass the baton to, I'm blanking on names now. The hologram.
Right.
What's her name? Jen's the Asian one.
Just say her name enough times. You should.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I can come up with this Kate, and that's wrong.
Anyways, the point is like I get that, you know, they were setting up this ending that way, and I get it, but it just seemed really rushed and forced. And I'm wondering if they found out that they were only getting 13 episodes at that point, and that's why they had to go condense and do some stuff like that. But
yeah, I think it was always on the edge, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, those first, you know, in the first series, those first 3 or so were pretty rocky, but after that, it ironed out pretty well.
Yeah, Addison,
yes. I think they botched the handoff from recurring person to her, to Addison. Yeah. Which they did do, right, in the episode with the fire. They did do that. But at the same time, would that have really been enough to convince Addison to just drop everything? Yeah. It's like
it was a little forced.
It was,
but you saw it coming from so far away too. Right?
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
You know,
because as soon as Ben actually started showing signs of affection for the other thing, then she was definitely
realizing that she still So,
but you know, that just asks me, did we ever really need that relationship to happen in the first place? And
it was all a little contrived. But and Ernie Hudson is a gosh darn treasure. I mean,
yep. Like I have no qualms about anybody's acting in the thing. Like I actually enjoyed it. It was different, but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah,
and I'm sad that it got canceled because I was really hoping that they were going to kick, you know, Sam back out somehow.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping. I was wondering if that's where they were going to go with this whole dual jump thing.
Yeah.
If they had got to continue.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But that's a cool idea too. You know,
it is, and I would have liked.
And you could start doing crazy asynchronous stuff with that too. You know, right? It would just be like.
I think there were a lot of possibilities there, so I'm a little sad that it got canceled. But
yeah,
you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, in another 20 years, we might still be alive and with it enough to watch a new series that takes off again. The other thing I forgot, I did start season 2 of Picard finally.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
I actually enjoyed it. I thought season 2 kicks off with a good start. I enjoyed it, but
it still has the same problems as season 1. It's all built on a house of cards that's built on lies, in that they just like completely ignored his entire character arc of progression on Next Gen. And that's my problem. It's not.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, the seedy underbelly worlds stuff is like that's not what Star Trek is supposed to be, right?
Right.
And that's what bothers me about it more than anything. Now, I will say, get to season 3, be rewarded. So hang in there.
I mean, I don't know. I think I only made it 2 or 3 episodes in, so it's, you know, they've gotten the gang back together and they're off to do things now, but that's about it. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying it for what it is. Yes, it's very season 1 especially basically shows kind of the Federation falling apart, the ideals of Star Trek decomposing in front of you, right?
Right.
And then they kind of revive it seems like, with how season 1 ended. Just kind of that little glip you get at the beginning kind of makes it seem like things might be healing. And I'd completely forgotten Picard was a bot now, and then they threw that line out and I'm like, what? And it took me a while. Oh yeah, that's right, he died. But so that's a interesting point going forward. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I know it's not your favorite series, but I figured I I enjoyed season 1 well enough. I wanted to see where they ended up going with it. So,
Just
but
hang in there. Season 3.
I don't think I'm going to pick Discovery back up. I just don't think I can do it.
I need to finish it, and I can't bring myself to do it. It's like it's so antithesis of what the spirit of the show is to me that I just can't do it. And she should be court-martialed 17 times over. I just can't do it.
It's that is the problem with that show. I mean, it would be a fine sci-fi show if it wasn't
Star Trek. Yeah, 100%. Slap Gene Roddenberry's name on it, and like just like the other ones, have at. But I don't. Yeah, it's.
But we did get Strange New Worlds out of that, so
which is great. It's great. Yep, I'm happy for that. It's great. Just let it be its own thing.
Anyway, I better let you get to what you've been doing because I've been yammering way too much here.
Played HellDivers for Democracy. It is HellDivers 2. Sorry, it is 1000% Starship Troopers, and it is 1000% as awesome as Starship Troopers was, and it is funny and it's dumb. And it is hard, and it is also very easy to kill your friends, which makes it funny and dumb and 1000% something that I enjoy playing. So, 100% great. I cannot recommend it enough. I mean, if you are into third-person shooters and you like Dance Dance Revolution Konami codes, then you're going to love this game, especially if you're playing with friends. If you don't like those things, you're not going to like this game. I personally give it like probably a 9 out of 10. It is that much fun. It is so dumb and so fun. And we're all just like, for democracy, cackling like idiots. And they have just it's like the right amount of camp and the right amount of person screaming as he unleashes his 1,500 round gun into something. It's like, it's phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about it. It is one of those games you can just pick up and play and then put down, and you will, the next time somebody says, hey, you want to play HellDivers 2? You'd be like, yes, I want to play that game more. And then you play it and then you put it down and it's fine. It's not obsessive. It's not like, you don't have to go play it for hundreds of hours, but you can if you want to. If you want to unlock the stuff just from playing the game, it's there and ready for you. And I want to get to level 25. I want a mech suit to be able to walk around and squish bugs with. Absolutely. So it's super great. They were super smart in how they did it.
I heard they completely wiped out the bots.
Yeah, I need to log on because that will open a bunch of, you get like, you have personal quests and then you have like galaxy quests, and everyone gets the rewards for the galaxy quests, right? It's like, go to this planet and clear it. That means that each time a party goes down and raids it, you're getting like 0.4% of completion on that planet. And so millions of people have to go down and squash billions of bugs in order to actually clear the planet. And then everybody gets the reward for that planet being cleared. So that was one of the big ones that I need to log in just to get the reward. So, but HellDivers is great. I can't recommend it. It's dumb fun. I absolutely recommend it. Been playing Final Fantasy Rebirth. I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering. The new set comes out very, very soon. We will be opening a collector's booster box on screen because I am weak-willed and I want cards. So hopefully I will get some good cards that I can then turn around and go trade in for actual booster boxes rather than just have the shiny ones. Also been Once Human is in the second week of a 4-week-long test. This should be the last one, I think. They've made a lot of choices. Embrace that weakness. Thank you, Nova. I appreciate that. Yes, very weak. This is the warm-up for next year, right? When Final Fantasy drops, Are we going to be teaching you to play Magic at that point, Matt? When the Final Fantasy set comes out?
I don't know. We'll see.
Because they will have precons, by the way. They'll be about $40-$45 somewhere in that range. And I'm guessing they're going to do it like they did Doctor Who, in that there will be 1 through 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then 10 through 16 would be my guess. They could do 7 through 10, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of hard for a 100 card deck. But anyways, they said there will be 3 or 4 precons for it, but there will be cards represented from every major game in the set. So I'm gonna lose so much money that
Don't
year.
do IT Neosapian.
Because you know what comes directly
ITSA
after
trap.
that.
Gamersledge.
That's Q1 of next year. You know what comes in Q3 of next year for Magic. Marvel.
Oh, really?
Multi-sets.
Really? I hadn't heard that they had done that licensing.
It looks like it's going to be the MCU, the comics, and animated, from what we're hearing.
Yeesh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to go back to pretending I don't know that Magic exists. That's what I'm going to do.
Good luck with that.
Shank the
We
noob.
play it all the
Matt
Shank's like, Matt, run.
Yes, I'm running
So
far, far away.
yeah, but once you see those shiny Final Fantasy cards, I know you're gonna feel something.
I know.
All right, so that's all I've played. So I go in cycles a lot of the times. Like, I will be like all into games for a good while, and then I watch nothing. And then right now I'm on the cycle of I've watched everything and not played almost anything. So those are the like 3 video games I've played. What I have watched,
indeed.
Invincible Season 2 Part 2, again, 10 out of 10, recommend. X-Men 97, 10 out of 10, recommend. The first 2 episodes of Fallout, didn't really do it for me, honestly. I've heard nothing but good things. We're going to watch more to see if it picks up, but right now...
Has the character gotten over encumbered by picking up too much garbage off the ground yet?
No, but I will say it does make you realize that they didn't think the whole vault thing through very well. If the thing that they were worried about by making the vaults came to pass, those people stand out like sore thumbs and actually tells you on their back where to go. It's very bad ideas all around.
Yeah.
So it's too early to give it like a rating or anything. I will say for me personally, I was very excited about it. It is very gory and bloody. So keep that in mind. And right now it's a meh for me. We'll see if that changes.
Okay.
Next level Chef season 3, new season of The Voice started. Somebody Feed Phil. We've gone back to that. It has got to be the most wholesome show on TV. And if you like food and you like learning about other places, it's great. It has 7 seasons, by the way, now, which I hate that, man, for getting 7 seasons of just going places, making friends, and eating food.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with who he is, if you've ever watched Everybody Loves Raymond, he was the head writer, and he is the Raymond character, basically. He wrote it off of his experiences. So there's that. I started Alice in Borderlands as recommended by Crow. I didn't make it past the first episode because I don't need my days to be stressed out anymore than they already are.
That's on my watch list too. I haven't gotten there, but it's on my list.
I may go back, but I don't know how to say this other than Squid Games was different because it had a different vibe. I don't know that I can put my finger on what that vibe was. This does not have that feel. This feels very much more visceral, and maybe it's the undertone of good in the guy. You know, like he's trying to do right by his family, but he's a screw up, and and nothing seems to go his way, this just seems already much more sinister. And I am curious about the twist, so I may go back and try and I didn't even finish the first episode.
Wow.
I got like 35 minutes in and I was like, maybe not. So I will probably go back, but and we're about to start the 3-body problem, because I've heard nothing but good things about that too, and I don't know the first thing about it, so we're actually gonna watch that after the podcast tonight. But then we get to where I have been spending my time, anime. I just wrote down the names of them. So I will say that this has been like the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I have never watched this much anime in my life. And now that I wrote it down just the last 2 months, now that I wrote it down, there's something wrong. I'm just saying that now so that everybody knows. Delicious in Dungeon, 11 episodes in. It's on Netflix. It's food porn with a wrapping of adventure. Very well written, actually. I'm enjoying it. It's not like super highbrow stuff, but it is well written and the characters are interesting. And so I would recommend it. I'm not done with the season yet. I don't think so. I can't give it a full score yet. That time I got reincarnated as the slime, season 3 finally dropped. I will say, Crunchyroll, fix your goddamn numbering system, because I can't tell what I'm supposed to watch when it goes from season 1 to season 48, because how they do their numbering system.
The random interns that they hire to do the numbering system different for every single show. I
just realized like this week that if I go to the end of season 1 and I let the last part of the last episode play, it will then take me to whatever the next thing is that I need to watch. That's what happened with that time I got reincarnated as a slime, because there was a movie between season 2 and season 3. And so it took me to the movie, and then when I finished the movie, then it took me to season 3, which is not listed as season 3. It's like season 48 or whatever. You get the idea. So anyways, hopefully that helps somebody else, because it's so annoying. I
usually rely on Keegan because he keeps up on all that stuff. So
yeah, I like that time I got reincarnated as a slime is one of my favorite animes. I'd say it's in my top 15. So I do recommend anybody that wants a good isekai, person transported to another world. That's one of the best ones. It is both dumb and smart at the same time. I guess the best way to say that. Train to the End of the World. So I will say Crunchyroll is very smart, because everything that started in the winter is now running out, because they do these like normal TV. You get one episode, like what's the one we were talking about before?
Solo Leveling.
Yeah, Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling just finished, right?
Yep.
It's 12 episode run just finished, and so now the summer or spring batch is now starting their first episodes. So a lot of these next ones are first 1 or 2 episodes that have just aired. Train to the End of the World is probably the most surreal anime I've watched in a good long time.
AI for Drew. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're redoing on that podcast?
Yeah, he's not here, Drew. Sorry. Train to the End of the World is about...
There do be a ton of isekais out right now.
A bunch of Japanese executives that missed out, telecom execs that missed out on 5G, and so they developed the world's first 7G, and it focuses on the young girl who was chosen as the 77,777th person to go through the train turnstile that day, and she's the one to press the button to start the 7G network, and it transforms the world into a hellish landscape, for the most part, where everything's gone absolutely nuts, and it focuses on the 3 girls or 4 girls that were friends of that girl after, I think 2 years after she pushed the button.
Of course, just casually developed 7G lol.
In their town, the way that the 7G affected them is that once they reach the age of 21, they turn into animals. Still have their mental and cognitive abilities, but they're now like a bear or an aardvark or a hedgehog or whatever. And you have no way of knowing what it is. So anyways, they find a train, or the train in their town still works because the electric rails still work. And so they decide to go find this girl who used to apparently be in a pop group with them, but they broke up because they had a falling out. They want to go, the main girl wants to go find her and make amends, is basically what the thing. Super out there, really interesting. I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. Very surreal though, not serious at all, honestly. The Banished Former Hero Lives as He Pleases is 3 episodes in. That's been pretty good as well. I was reincarnated as the 7th prince, so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. That one's 2 episodes in, and something I've never seen in an isekai before. He is actually reincarnated from the world he was in, which generally it's always a completely separate world. So that's kind of interesting a little bit. And that's been interesting so far. I like that one. Remonster is a new isekai. Guy's reborn as a goblin, and he's able to absorb skills and abilities of creatures he eats.
Gonna lurk for a bit and check out LM on mobile. Have fun with anime talk.
Thank you, Drew. Have a wonderful one. Thank you for the lurk. So yeah, it's a bit bloody, but interesting because it's kind of told from the. It's interesting. Chilling in another world with level 2 super cheat powers. It's 1 episode in. It's interesting because it's a merchant who gets yanked out of his world by the summoning spell for the isekai adventure. And apparently in the world that he's brought to, everybody gets a divine blessing as they come into the world. He does not get one. And they summon another guy at the same time who is obviously the hero because he's got like the ultimate divine blessing. And so they like can't return this guy to his world, and they're like, you're useless. They tell him to go live up in the forest where the demon army is currently residing. And it turns out that all of his stats are infinite symbols, and he learns all the magic immediately, and he's going to be like the most stupid OP, but he doesn't realize he's OP yet. So it's an interesting premise for it. So that should be good. As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. 1 episode in, heart's in the right place. It's I think it's going to be a interesting world building anime because he's the noble of a lord, and his appraisal skill isn't for items. It's actually for people, and he can see what their abilities are and what their rankings are in them. So for example, if he sees a guy who's training with an axe and he's better suited for a bow and arrow, he can tell that guy. And the kid's only like 5 years old that has the appraisal skill. So it's kind of interesting. He's going to inherit the noble, he's going to inherit the lordship eventually. So it's kind of interesting. And it looks like it should be a really nice little series. Musoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, 13th episode. I don't know if it's new and it just came out after a break or if I never watched it. But that is a great anime. You should watch it. It's very good. Isekai Cheat Magician. I watched 13 episodes, all season 1. It's a pair of a boy gets summoned, girl accidentally gets caught in the circle and goes with. I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. It's good. Faraway Paladin, 24 episodes finished now. It's, and I never thought I would say this for an anime, spiritual, wholesome. I really liked it. I really did not think, I mean, from everything I read about it, from everything, the previews I saw, I did not think I was going to like it. It's very, very, very good. I would highly recommend it. I would say probably like 8.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Solo Leveling, we already talked about. That's probably my favorite of the ending winter batch. Solo Leveling. The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, 13 episodes in. It is now finished as well. That's my third favorite of the winter batch. I would give that a strong 8.75 out of 10, I would say. The Unwanted Undead Adventurer is my second favorite of the winter batch. 12 eps, I'd give it a straight up 9. Really, really good. The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth raids a tank with the rare 9,999 resistance skill got kicked from the hero's party. Finished 12 episodes. I'd give it a 7.5.
I got tired just listening to
I know, it's
title.
a really long title, I know. Banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. I'm not finished with that one. I'm 11 episodes in. Like, you know how there's cozy video games?
Mm-hmm.
It's a cozy anime.
I'm sorry.
It has like the rest of the fantasy action tropes around it. But this is another one that I really didn't like. I watched the first episode. I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then I came back to it and I went through and it's actually, I'm liking it. It's probably going to land around 7.5.
I got 2 episodes into The Strongest Tank and gave up. The sister obsessed trope annoys me.
Yeah, that goes away pretty quickly. Dark White Wolf. That is much lessened as it goes on. Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy finished 28 episodes. I was kind of surprised I liked this one. I'm interested to see where it's going. It's kind of all over the place, but I do like it. It's an interesting premise. The goddess that summons him doesn't like him and makes it so that he can only talk to monsters. And he has to start his voyage in the world from there. So it's kind of interesting.
Shangri-La Frontier at number 1 for the winter batch.
Skeleton Knight in Another World, finished 12 eps of that. It's an isekai where the main character is stuck in his MMO armor and gear, and he's human, but he appears undead. That's a pretty decent one. I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. Mashle Magic and Muscles. This is the one we talked about a little bit before. It's like Harry Potter, but the main character can use 0 magic and has to do everything with muscles. It is
right.
The dumbest anime I've ever watched by far and away, and somehow
still works.
It still works 100%.
Wolf.
Yeah, Harry Potter
was
soul. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, it's so good. I would give that like a 9 out of 10. It is so absurd. It has broken my brain a couple times. Very, very good. The Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash. By the way, Mashle Magic and Muscles. It's now finished. It's season 2, so 24 eps.
It's Monday.
Definitely.
Yo, that Fallout show is all.
The Weakest Tamer wholesome. Began a journey to pick up trash. Super wholesome series. It's got a little bit of a dark undertone to it, but much better than expected. 12 episodes. It's actually probably my biggest surprise anime because I really did not think I was going to like it based off of the first episode, but it became really, really nice.
Sup to oot.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you for hanging out. How you doing Monday? I'm going through my list of things I've watched recently on anime, everything within the last couple months because we haven't met for a little while. Frieren Beyond Journey's End is now done with 28 episodes for its first season.
Wow.
I have never seen an anime to be that well done and melancholy and thought-provoking. it's like a straight up 10. I can't recommend it enough. That was one I was really surprised about.
Yeah, that one's on the list. Gotta get to that one.
Dr. Stone was a recommendation from someone else. Basically, the kid that is to science what Neil deGrasse Tyson is to astrophysicists is trapped in stone for millennia and breaks out and starts to rebuild humanity. 2 seasons, 23 episodes I finished. I'd give it like a 7.5. Is okay for me. Sometimes it was a little it stretched the limits of my belief that someone would be able to require or remember those complex scientific formulas. I mean, that is like his entire shtick in the series, but even then it's like,
Still.
okay, knowing it and doing it are 2 separate things.
Yeah.
Drukut Wolf. The most amazing thing is that where everybody else slept while in stone,
Yeah.
he was awake and counted time.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? 12 episodes I finished. Standard overpower fare is fine, like 7. The reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world. 13 episodes finished. It's fine. This is a 7. And then the last one we had talked about, but I had not gotten through the last time we talked about anime. Handyman Saito in Another World, 12 episodes finished. Another very wholesome, would recommend probably like 8 out of 10 if you like the isekais. And then wrestling.
So if you add that all up, that's got to be about like 8 months worth of content if you watched and never slept and didn't have to work. So how are you doing this, sir?
That is not true, because you generally watch them in the evenings as I'm winding down. So
yeah, but it's still that is a lot.
I mean, they're only
freaking
21
content, man.
minute. They're only 21 minute episodes most of the time.
Yeah, but that adds up. I mean,
so 12, 21 minutes. 3 of them
still
is
4
an hour.
hours.
Yeah, it's
Right. That's
4
still,
hours.
That's 4 hours, and you like 27 shows, and they weren't all 12 episodes. I mean, you watched the entirety of. Well, I think Dr. Stone is into season 3 now, isn't it?
No, I
Or
don't.
season 3 just coming soon.
I think it's coming soon.
But you know, I mean, it's like, yeesh.
I mean, and then wrestling, the AEW shows, and then the Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, PPV. Thought Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor was really good. Would probably give it like I think I ended up giving it a 10 out of that stuff. It was usually the pay-per-views are really good. So Dynasty, by the way, is not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So we'll be doing a live watch party for that. So come and join us. If you got nobody to watch the pay-per-view with, we'd be happy to have you around and in chat while we watch and react, live reactions and reviews. That's everything I watched and played.
Oof. It's impressive. That is a impressive list.
But you know, you notice that like anime is the only thing on this list, pretty much. It's like,
except for 400,000 hours of magic.
It's not. It's not. It's a thing where I sacrifice other things to do one thing and then.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get that.
High
Like
clerk,
I've been
high
reading,
clerk.
right? So you know that takes a fair bit of time, and you know I really poured a lot of time into comic books. I did. If I listed all the comic book series I had read, you know, we would still be here. But so you know, yeah, that is where a lot of my time has gone recently, is either reading novels or comic books. So
What's up, Jay? Welcome in. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Do we have any major pieces of news?
well, I mentioned earlier that they're done with the script for Final Fantasy VII. What is the third one called?
Recomplete. I don't know.
Whatever part 3 is called, I forget.
I've been dwelling through Leap instead of sleeping at night. Lol.
if you do have Final Fantasy 14, there is the 16 crossover event is still going. It's pretty short. It's mostly story stuff, and then a boss battle, which you fight solo. So, well, you fight with Clive, but you basically fight solo. I haven't watched it yet, but the launch trailer for Star Wars whatever that's called, I forget already, is out. I haven't watched it yet. You can reserve the game if you want. It's got the standard redonkulous edition, so choose your poison.
I saw Persona 3 Reload was back down to $40 on PlayStation and Xbox.
Nice.
There's a deal on PC right now where you can buy all 7 Fallouts for $25. So if you have not done it, or you're interested in checking out some of the Fallout games, that's a great deal for all 7 of them. Excuse me.
For anyone that's trying to game on a budget, the Epic Store is still giving out at least 1 or 2 games a week for free.
Yep.
I mean, they've started repeating, so not if you've been doing it since the beginning, not every week gets you something. But there's been some really good games in those offers. So if you're on the PC and you're gaming and you're trying to do it on the cheap, don't look down the nose of the Epic Store. I know some people kind of roll their eyes when you mention the Epic Store, but it's free is free.
The Minecraft movie has officially wrapped filming.
My brain cannot handle that sentence.
For those that are excited about that. I'm looking through headlines to see if there's anything else like super.
I almost bought Oregon Trail. There's a modern Oregon Trail out now, and I almost bought it just so I could die of dysentery one more time.
If you only die one more time, you're doing it wrong.
That's it. That's all I would be able to do. That's all I'd be able to live with myself.
Baldur's Gate 3 won 4 BAFTA wins, including Best Game. If you subscribe to Showtime streaming, that's going away also this month. Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie was officially announced. I don't know if you saw that one.
No.
There were 2 interesting things. I think that came out yesterday, if I remember right. I don't think we have any real information about, but they're saying it's going to arrive 2026 for the crossover movie. And they formally announced it at CinemaCon. And then they said that I think this also came out of CinemaCon. I got to double check. Edgar Wright is rebooting Running Man.
Really?
Yeah. Which I'm down for that. There's a Star Trek prequel movie in the works with a Star Wars director. He's apparently the guy that worked on Andor. Toby Haynes.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. What the heck's his name? Yeah.
He's also directed Black Mirror and Doctor Who. He's lined up to.
Guy's really talented, so that'll be interesting.
It will be very interesting. I'm down.
The trailer for The Acolyte came out, which stars the guy from the Squid Games.
Oh, does it? Interesting.
Yeah. It looked interesting to me. I know a lot of people were crapping on it because we crap on everything Star Wars now because that's just the age we live in. But it looked really interesting to me. I still haven't watched Bad Batch season 3 yet either. Jeez Louise, I'm so content bound.
Yeah, well, same. I don't. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie one is announced, coming fall 2025.
Did the first one come out yet?
I think it did.
Did it? And I just completely missed it.
I'm so mad about Dragon's Dogma.
What about it?
It's the short form is you play the game, you get AI bot companions because you can't do the things alone. Make multiplayer. It's not hard.
Got it. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin storyline is getting an R-rated live action movie.
Interesting.
Anybody that's still playing Fortnite, there's Avatar stuff like the Last Airbender stuff, not just the Korra thing in there.
Have you watched the Borderlands trailer?
No.
Did you play Borderlands?
No.
Okay. Then never mind.
Hence why I didn't watch the trailer, because I was like, I don't know.
Is so the wrong tone in my mind? But
too serious or too not serious? Because kind of not serious is kind of its thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel right, and I can't tell you why. There is a Final Fantasy VII remake board game coming out this summer.
Interesting.
They're rebooting Blair Witch.
Okay. And the first movie's still perfectly fine. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like that stuff, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know either. Margot Robbie is producing a Monopoly movie. Oh, Vampire Survivors coming to PlayStation and getting Contra crossover DLC.
Yep. Yeah, I did see that. So another, since you can't link any different variants you play, another place to start completely over.
I mean, I've held out this whole time, so maybe.
Yeah, might be the play. I mean, the thing is, it's all dead cheap too, right? I mean, it's just dead cheap, right? It's amazing. I guess at CinemaCon they showed a Captain America trailer for Brave New World.
Oh, yeah. Nice. I would like to see this thing. Looks like The Crow got delayed by Lionsgate.
Yeah, I'm torn on that one. I mean,
I'm real torn on it. I mean, it actually does look cool, but it's so tonally different.
Yeah. I mean, the original movie isn't that close to the comic either, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. There was something about that trailer just did not sit right.
I'm not seeing a whole lot. I can't really talk about this story, but I want to talk about this story. AMC never anticipated the Dune popcorn bucket craze. Come on.
Somebody realized, and then somebody else said, this will work.
100%.
This will give us more coverage than we could ever generate on our own.
It's 100%. When you get Saturday Night Live producing a musical about it.
Yeah.
Which if you haven't seen, is hilarious.
I haven't. I'll have to go back and look at that. Apparently at CinemaCon also Thunderbolts had an asterisk on the title. So
on purpose.
Yeah.
Also the trailer for Joker 2 came out, and
I still haven't seen the first one and have no motivation to.
Right there with you. And to be honest, it looks like they're doing a reverse for Harley and Joker from the trailer in this one. She's not a doctor. She's another patient. And I don't... I think it's way more interesting the other way.
If you're going to do a flip, have her be the patient and him be the doctor, if you're going to,
Right. Just making both of them patients is not... Excuse me. I
am seeing much.
I think that's all the stuff that I am seeing.
I feel like there was Gundam news that I came across recently, but I can't find it. Oh, I did finish season 2 of just saw this season 2 of Sweet Tooth. And
they
have officially 2? And they've officially announced season 3 too, which I think is going to be the final one. So
well, Sweet Tooth is actually body acted by a wrestler, Samoa Joe. Are we talking about two different things?
We're talking about two different things. You're talking about
Twisted Metal, right?
You're talking about Twisted Metal. No, I'm talking about Sweet Tooth, the Jeff Lemire comic that's about the kid who's half deer in the world. That's all. No, nothing. You never heard Netflix show?
No.
Jeff Lemire comic? No. Okay. All right, no. This is actually Sweet Tooth. No, not.
That's why I was like,
Metal.
I didn't even know they made
Twisted Metal. No.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm like, I didn't even know they made a second season. You're talking about season 3.
No.
Like,
Sweet Tooth, the comic about a kid who's got deer antlers and deer ears at the end of the world. I was trying to think because there is a big guy in the show, and I'm trying to think. Okay, well, he's not Sweet Tooth, but you could be talking about him. But that's not Samoa Joe. No, I know what Samoa Joe looks like. That's not him. And then it took me a second to think, what could you be talking about? Oh, okay, Sweet Tooth, the character from Twisted Metal. Okay, I got there eventually.
100%.
But he's because they for some reason didn't want to use his voice, which I don't get, but.
Yeah, and can I say it's hilarious that Carrie-Anne Moss is basically now like a Jedi?
Yes.
She is the chosen one the Acolyte. I'm interested. I will say that does have my interest. Most of them do not, but that does. So I'm interested in seeing that. Have you been watching the live action Avatar?
I completed the live action Avatar, yeah.
And is it worth watching?
I think so. I really thought it was a solid adaptation. I mean, there are people who live and die by the animated series, and there was nothing this show could do if it didn't recreate the animated series frame by frame that was ever going to satisfy them. And that's fine. I have things that I'm the same way. I'm just saying that some of the most vocal, and the thing is like, minor spoilers, the whole thing about Sokka's not sexist, right? It's like, okay, that's because there's another sexism story in the arc that is covered, and it's way more impactful than Sokka's 2 seconds of sexism, which they just replaced with machoism, which is essentially the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So it really doesn't hurt anything. It really doesn't. And all the things I've heard about that are the same way. It's right. They're compressing the story, right? So the entire first season is in 8 episodes, right? And so there's some compressing that goes on. And if there's repetition of themes, which in a kids show, a show targeted at kids, you're going to have repetition of themes because that's how you learn and how you're exposed to things, right? Through repetition. as adults, we don't need that as much for things we've already learned, right? So is it as good of a kid show? No, it's not as good of a kid show. Is it a decent young adult show? Yes, it is. The acting in it's great, and the effects are amazing. I mean, they, considering that a major movie had a budget and they came out with the effects that they did for that live action movie that never happened.
Yeah.
This just puts that to shame.
So, did you watch One Piece yet?
No, I have not watched the anime or the live action.
Well, forget the anime. I can't watch the anime. Go watch the live action. Put it on your list. It is phenomenal. And the funny part is I went back to try and watch the anime again after watching the live action. Still can't do it.
I can't get past the first 2 episodes.
Right. That same. But this shouldn't work, but it 100% does. Really good. I'm really invested in it. I want to see where it goes. It is.
I will give it a go. It'll be interesting because Mitchell is a diehard anime One Piece fan, so it'll be interesting if I drag him along with me to see how he goes.
I know what I wanted to talk about. Julia Garner cast as Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, awesome. I mean, it's not Norrin, right?
Right. That's my point.
It's
my
not
point.
Norrin.
I don't care. This is a real character from the comics. Shalabah Surfer, sure, fine, but that doesn't mean we won't get a Norrin. It doesn't mean we won't get a Norrin.
Get him post Herald stage, so he just jumps straight into being a hero,
right? And that's fine, I guess. It's just, it's like. It's like
I'm still confused what they're doing timeline wise with this. Like, is this going to be, because everything they're doing about this is like 50s themed. Like the title card is 50s themed. That art that they did was like a Norman Rockwell painting. It's like I'm super intrigued by what they're going to do with this. Like, are we going back to like when Hank was Ant-Man, and is this going to happen like in that time frame, or is this another world, or what are we doing?
I don't know, man, because it's like I don't mind mixing things up for the sake of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem comes when it's like them going to introduce Quasar, but it's Marvel Boy before his hands explode. It's like you take like a minor character and promote them to this thing that happened. It's like if they had the golden oldie Aunt May, right? She's my favorite comic character because it's so dumb, right? It happened in one What If book. She got the power cosmic, on top of the uni power, and became the golden oldie. It's hilarious.
Right.
But do I want that as my Silver Surfer representation in the MCU? No. And that's the problem I have with it. Not that they not that they picked that version of a character.
Mm-hmm.
It's that I want to see stuff about the actual Silver Surfer, not somebody who took up the mantle for a brief amount of time.
Yeah. I'm not, it doesn't put me off enough to not be so intrigued and excited about what they're going to do with Fantastic Four. But it was an interesting choice. And I imagine that announcement was made for this kind of reaction, right? The announcement was made to get people's dander up and wondering what the hell's going on, right? I think it'll just be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't like the Fantastic Four. I've never not said I didn't like the Fantastic Four. I really don't like the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
I've never liked them. They're the most boring comic book in the world to me. I can't even tell you why, to be honest. It should be cool. It's just not for me personally. And So I'm
I think
already.
I think there's some arcs you would like, but
Yeah,
that aside,
there are some, but it usually involves other people that are not the core people of the book, right? Like, you know, the Bagman Spider-Man stuff, that's interesting to me. The She-Hulk stuff, that's interesting to me. But
did you read Hickman's run?
I think I did.
That was the black and white suits.
Oh, maybe
right before Future Foundation.
Oh, okay, maybe not then. Yeah, and it's not like I'm not willing to go read books with it either.
Yeah.
It's just like every time I've ever started a run of Fantastic Four, like 5 issues in, and I'm like, even when I had to read it when I was in the store, I would open it and I'd read it. And I'm like, okay, time to get through Fantastic Four. Seriously. They're just like, I get it. I get
it's an easy thing to botch too. I mean, It is an easy thing to botch.
I get what they're going for, and you know, it just seems like I get why they had to introduce other characters also, because when you have the same 4 characters that never really change in their outlooks or their perspectives or any of that stuff, then it gets really hard to keep telling new and inventive stories. Like the whole thing of the Reed, I've forgotten his name, the Reed Richards that has the Infinity Gauntlet that's popping between universes as the big bad for...
Oh, the Maker.
The Maker. Like, that's interesting to me because that's Reed Richards finally going that one level of detaching from Sue and the rest of the family, you know, to pursue his stuff, and look where it gets him. That's interesting to me. But, you know, Ward and June Cleaver 60 years after the people that they were modeled after is not necessarily my cup of tea. It doesn't mean it can't be anybody else's. I'm just saying, for me personally, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting, especially when they get into some of the, you know, they've had some rocky, you know, relation, you know, marital stuff, and you know that gets interesting to me. But you know, I guess that's not everybody's.
See, I do comics for the same reason. I guess you could argue the same thing for X-Men. I go for escapism for the most part. I want to see cool fight scenes, you know, soap operas, that type of stuff. And you could say that, well, then why do you read the X-Men? Because it's pretty much all about civil rights and angst and oppression and all that stuff. And I get that argument as well, but it's different to me somehow than...
Yeah. And that, yeah. I mean, obviously everything doesn't have to hit for everybody. And I'll admit, I've collected Fantastic Four off and on, largely depending on who's writing it or what's going on with the story. And I mean, I only picked it back up in this current run from, gosh, I don't know how many years of not getting it. And it was just, I don't even remember if it might have even just been the cover art, because the cover art on this series has just been ridiculous. But I forget what made me pick this one up. And for me, it's been great. And that's all I can say is, you know, I'm not even saying this one would necessarily pique your interest, but it is, like I said, it is them on the run, kind of, so to speak, right? So they're still the family unit, right? You know, the kids are teenagers now, so you know that adds an element. I'm not quite sure how they got to teenagers so fast, but they're teenagers now for some reason. So,
well, I mean, he's a mutant.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
No, they're redoing that. Yes, he is.
No, I just read the freaking last issue. No, he's not.
They've already solicited for the fact that he is going to be in the future again. Yes.
Yeah, that just goes against what they just did.
I know. It's like, make up your minds, people, like once and for all, definitively. Anyways.
Well,
yes.
Okay. The option is there for him to be a mutant if he so chooses. Let's put it that way.
Right. But I think they've already solicited for him to be a mutant again in the future. So
I avoid solicitations because I know what I'm getting.
That's how I keep up on most of my comic news.
I get it.
I'm sorry, I should not have told you that. My bad.
No, that's okay. And it'll be here and gone again before I can remember.
I don't think there's. I'm looking to see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, they announced a new Matrix movie with the World War Z writer.
Interesting.
I mean, they need something after that last train wreck. That was
not. I mean, that was basically a cry for help.
It was Matrix cut and paste, and God bless them all for getting a paycheck, but that was
what's her face Wachowski saying, I'm going to make money off this since they're going to do it anyway, but I really don't want to be here and there's nothing for you to watch. So just
she's not participating in this one.
I mean, I don't know I don't know if they own any of the IP or anything to it, so I don't know if they get royalties if they make something off of it without them or not.
Well, all I know is like the other sister is there, but not Lana. She's not participating in this one, so. Boys season 4 should be dropping any day now. I want to say it's like in the next 3 days or something.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Wasn't where that was coming to quest. I still haven't watched what is it? The
Gen
V or Gen V?
You really should. Like 9 out of 10. That's how you do a spin-off series. FYI. Nice. Date for Boys season 4.
And then I guess apparently one of the main characters, the actor, passed.
He did, and is super sad. I guess it's June 13th. There's something starting like this week. What TV shows drop this week?
The only thing I know about it starting this coming week, I think, is Kaiju number 8. That's the only thing I have in my head.
Friday, April 12th. Okay, how do I see? Oh, okay, here we go. This is great. Radio right here. And video.
Brought to you by. Oh, did you watch Has Been Hotel?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
10 out of 10. Want more injected directly into my eyeballs. I have the wife watching it now. I think she's 3 episodes in. She's really liking it too. And she doesn't do animated stuff at all.
Right.
But
does she do musicals? Because
she does do musicals, which is why I knew she'd probably stomach it. And she's really liking it. So that's
and we all know when she gets to that one song, it'll all be over.
It will be. I love that series so much. That
it was really good.
That was out of left field. Didn't know anything about it or.
Yeah, I probably need to go and watch the companion series. I think it's like on YouTube or something.
Yeah, it is. I think it's prequel, but I'm not positive. Okay, I think I'm lying. Although Star Wars Tales...
Something's coming out this week, I'm sure.
Star Wars Tales: The Empire debuts May 4th.
Yeah, May 4th. May the 4th.
I can't find whatever it was I was thinking. Maybe it was Fallout that I was thinking of.
Because, that was supposed to start a couple of days. Like, was it today? And then it started 2 days ago?
A couple days early, yeah. Doctor Who starts May 10th.
Yep.
And I'm kind of interested to see what they're doing with that. We'll see.
I'm very interested to see what they're doing with it, I guess they're adding, I don't know if they're replacing or adding a second companion in season 2, but they're already filming season 2 and
replacing.
Is it replacing?
She's already been confirmed to be there only for 1 season, which seems odd, but Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars is getting a second season. May 22nd. We watched the first one. It was good because it was more about the business of it. It's still a reality competition show, but it's if you ever get a chance to watch like Kitchen Nightmares Britain versus Kitchen Nightmares America, It's all about the business, and that's what I like. Is
There's no
business.
drama.
No drama. Yeah. No, I mean a little bit of drama, but not, you know,
a little bit.
Just with
it's
people
not the focus of the show.
Realizing they need to change their mindsets and stuff.
Right.
Oh, MasterChef's getting a new season 2.
Dear Lord, I haven't watched that in so long.
Dude, we're all caught up. 21 seasons. This will be season 22. Oh, it looks like
still is it just a comfort food at this point, or do they actually still have something intriguing to
No, I think they have something intriguing. They did one season, I think it was 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago, where every episode had like all the chefs you ever wanted to see. Like they brought in Morimoto, and they brought in Paula Deen, and they brought in you know, basically each show had a different chef that basically made the theme of that episode. And you had to try and build something that would, and they served as the 4th judge. I thought that was really interesting, actually. So yeah, they're still playing around with the stuff, but man, I love MasterChef, and I it is kind of a comfort food. You're not wrong, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I guess after watching the Australian one, which aired every single day, yeah, for like, I think it was 2 or 3 hours a day, it was like their most watched thing ever in Australian TV history.
Wow.
It was like, oh, okay, this is something that is, you know, I don't know, for me, that just kind of, I like watching it all the time. Yeah, June 13th is when The Boys premieres season 4. House of the Dragon starts Sunday, June 16th.
I haven't watched season 1 of that either.
No, that will be season 1. That's the prequel for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's already had a season. 98.7% sure that has had a season already.
It says new series on it, not season 2. Well, okay. I guess you're right. Why does it say new series then?
Because the intern didn't know what they were doing.
Apparently.
I love how I just blame everything on interns.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. Orphan Black Echoes. Interesting.
Another show that I never got around to watching. Because I remember the only reason I really know that is because David Tennant's son is in the Game of Thrones prequel.
Okay, I just accidentally found the coolest thing that's coming out this summer. July 10th, Wednesday, July 10th on Netflix, Exploding Kittens.
Interesting. It's a fun game.
So the internal conflict between heaven and hell reaches epic proportions when God and the devil are sent to earth in the bodies of chunky house cats.
Okay.
This wins the internet for me. I must.
Oh dear.
I must watch this. And it looks like it might be stop motion.
Like South Park stop motion, or like actual like
no,
3D?
I think you nailed it on the head. I think it's South Park kind of stop motion. And there's just one image of it, but yeah, interesting.
All right then. Well, I think that's the perfect note to end the show.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. So, thank you for joining us tonight, Matt, and thank you everybody for joining us. We're gonna raid out here in 1 second. I just gotta find somebody to raid out to. Who is on? We will be back tomorrow at noon Pacific, 2 Central, 3 Eastern for AEW Rampage live reactions and reviews. Probably with some magic in the evening, depending how the wife feels. So come check us out then. Sunday, we'll be back at 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 Central, 5 Eastern for AEW Collision live reactions reviews, followed by Sunday streamer and Magic tech support. So join us for that as well. And appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. We're going to raid out to Dank Panda. She is not family friendly, but she is a good friend of the show. She's fun and funny, so check her out. Until next time, as always, be excellent to each other, and of course, game on!
Game on!